Good afternoon, viewers. I come to you with news. It is Saturday, and that means it is time once again for our Saturday review show. I'm going to mute myself in the Twitch window because that's really distracting. And I am joined by three fabulous talking heads of our league. Good morning, Avi, Breck, and Rob. Who's awake? Who's ready to go?
I'm very awake.
It's 12:30.
I love that all three of you have had that answer, but I at least am now awake after another night of fun and not fornations. So we're gonna have to go back over what I've already forgotten. We're gonna have to go back over week 2 of our regular season, already nearly at the halfway point. It kills me inside. It really does.
Crazy it's gone this fast, but
Understandable, really.
Yeah.
it does. It just makes sense.
Single round robin means that every game matters, and we're already almost halfway. We'll be halfway through. We'll be over halfway through on Monday, right? That'll be 5 games out of 9 done.
Yeah, we do
Nice.
4 weeks plus 1, 5 game days. So yeah, it'll be 3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
5 game days?
That's crazy.
Oh, it's oof. Take me back to double round robin. Maybe in the future. Eh? Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? But in the past, we have a little bit of things to reflect on. Brack, let's run through the standings. Guess who's running the stream for me today? Because my hands are up here. We've got something I don't think I've seen it in a long time. And Brack, is probably you and me the last time we saw a 4-way tie at the top of our standings. I don't remember the last time this happened.
We've got one hell of a competitive start to the split. A lot of teams having sort of wibbles in the first week or two. But yeah, I think we're starting to have sort of our upper echelon coalesce. I think there's not a huge amount of surprise for us saying like Rise up there. A lot of people were really low on Int Quick though, and they have in their new form shown that perhaps not quite expected of the same highs as their previous roster, but they are still down to tango.
They get the job done. Rob, as my resident tier list buddy, you know, we joined at the hip when it comes to putting some logos on some sheets. How in the mud are we?
It's really interesting because Belfast hasn't faced anyone in that 4-way tie. So Belfast still have to face Gucci. They still have to face Inkquick. They still have to face Rise Gaming, I believe.
It's impressive.
So that'll start opening out, obviously, going into the next couple of weeks. Inkquick is also interesting because Inkquick lost to Gucci, beat Rise, but their other 2 wins are against Venomcrest and Paragon. So even though we see that 3-1 scoreline here for some of these teams, some of them will have faced
deceptive.
Better teams, some will have faced worse teams, and I think that the ones to really look out for is Belfast Storm in the coming weeks, where they had that wibble in the first day against Absol, but generally looked really solid after that. And they're then going to have in the next coming weeks basically the rest of that pack at the top to face.
It's going to be tough. Strength of schedule playing a huge part. Avi, when it comes to our standings, we've maybe alluded to it's not completely the whole truth. Is strength of schedule in single round robin is absolutely vicious. But our 2 leading teams, or should we say 3 leading teams, in our championship points standings are Venomcrest, Rod and Friends, and the Bandits. And you know who I don't see near the top? Any of those guys.
Yeah. I mean, I think
What are you
it's
talking
a
about? They're all in
difficult one to
first.
look at.
There
Oh,
are
that's
6 teams in first place, according to this graphic.
Shh. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Very well made broadcast, I promise.
I've just been handed the corrected one before we put that on stream. But Brack working magic in the background. Go check.
Hell
go
yeah.
check the
I'll
live
bring
thread.
back those
Go
for
check
next.
the live thread. Yeah, Avi, strength of schedule and championship points is all to play for.
No, I think you do have a point. A lot of the teams that we have been seeing at the top currently have, I wouldn't say easier schedules, I wouldn't say any of the games are necessarily easy, but they've not been in a position to struggle. They've played cleanly, they've had consistent performance in matches, and that's really what you want to see here. But some of the teams that we have higher in our championship points, you'd think they're doing better, but honestly, it just feels like they're trying to work out a few of the kinks here. They've done a lot of roster shuffle. It's going to take that time as well to try and adapt around some of these changes, come in with a almost brand new roster for a lot of these guys, and how do they try and bring that performance back? Because it just doesn't seem like we're going to see any of that at the moment. I mean, Bandits
Yeah.
are 0-4 right now. That is
That's rough.
shocking to say the least.
Yeah, I think if we knew the magic glue, we'd be doing fantastic. But you're right. It's time to stick it together. Time to bring it back.
Yeah,
I think
it's
on
almost
Venom-
too late, no?
It's approaching too late,
Getting
depending on
close,
the strength of
isn't
your
it?
schedule. It's getting real
I was
close.
about to say,
Bandits, Bandits lose another one. It's over for them, isn't it? Really, to get top 4. If they go 5 losses, then it's almost over. You can't. I don't think you can get top 4 with 4 and 5. So they won't be in the upper bracket. It's that
Gosh,
close.
that's tough.
Like
I
if
think
you
the
like-
only thing I can add here is on Venom Crests. At least their Division 1 team looks pretty good. I think results wise, not the greatest, but an eye testing game shows
Yeah.
Aaron
No,
Bust
I'll give you
having a
that.
pretty
Bust
good
are
time in
good.
Division 1.
They're good.
They're
players.
nuts. They're
I
nuts.
never
It's crazy.
believe it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest pain for Venomcrest, isn't it? That they've lost,
Yeah,
Bust,
we've-
they've lost Air, and then they've.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
not to.
2 of their
insult the
best
new
players got
but-
promoted to NLC and are doing
And
pretty
they're
well
doing
up
well
there.
in NLC.
Honestly,
Yeah.
well deserved for them though, but it's
Absolutely.
left them in a bit of an awkward spot now, isn't it?
Okay. Right. What the other thing we're going to do, and we've prepared for you today, is Rob. We're going to have a look at the Division 2 standings. Now, I've only watched like I see a Twitter link from Aversio, like promoting their stream. I might click in if I'm not on the show for a few minutes and have a look around. But I think we have some opinions about where we are in Division 2 right now.
It's just a sneak peek because obviously I do try and watch what I can within the UK ecosystem because as many people say Rob out, as I'm probably the only one who actually pays attention to this Div 2. No. Rise and Ari is not a surprising one to be seen in that at 2-0. Neither is Nater's Academy. It's pretty much the same roster that it was that got them to promotions last split. Rise and Ari again, Rise have combined to make a Div 2 roster with Anari, who didn't do so well in the previous split, but the players they've got on there again are very good caliber for the league. You've got Oku, you've got the jungler's name now, is it Nat or Matt? And then you've got Tiz in the mid lane. You've got like these kind of players that are of quality that could potentially look for Div 1 players as well. And then Feast or Famine is the biggest surprise here in that they came in through the open qualifiers, or they're new to the league, and they aren't necessarily the quality you'd expect from like the other rosters are of a very good quality. 5 versus 45. They play in, I believe, in Romanian tournaments as well, but they are UK residents. They also put on a pretty decent show towards the end of last split, so generally it's not that surprising at the top of the leaderboard. Aversio have had some subs as well. I want to point out Aversio aren't playing the Aversio players that we had them in Div 1. They are still on the roster, but they're having a lot of roster changes going on Aversio, with obviously people available, not available. Nuclear Vikings made some changes as well, but Nuclear Vikings again, despite coming top of the round robin last split, sort of dropped out of playoffs, and this split they've obviously made a few changes. And the other teams around that 0-2, it's early days for Div 2, but Gucci and Furnace have had to make a few changes. Glorp Academy is obviously players like Urshake who play in a lot of open quals. These are not necessarily maybe at the same level, but we'll have to see as it opens up, because Feast or Famine, I think, have had a luckier run of show with facing a weakened Aversio as well in the last game day. So the teams to watch in there are Natives Academy and Rise and Ari if you're looking for promo relegations.
I actually
And
love
if you're Venom Crash, you can't be
5v45
worried.
though. I just got the joke of 5v45 because there's 9 other teams in the league.
I like that though.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh,
That's pretty.
I should have mentioned the other two in the middle of the pack. Emrys coming back. They do have some very good players. Their ADC is very good. Watch that guy out. He's a French ADC. Hits GM pretty consistently. Good player. And HL Tory as well. They've got a few UK players that hovered around like open quals back in 2013 Temporal. Like Hobo Lord Gaming is on there.
Oh my gosh.
is
That's
that
what
why it's
HL
HL?
stands for.
So like Hobo Lord Gaming is on that roster. There's an AD carry who plays $1 billion a year, Brady, and like there's a few players on those rosters that also to watch out for. But again, Natives and Ari are the big threats. And I think to bring it up for Venom Crest struggling, like I think this last game they really showed maybe their struggles even for some of their better players. And so these teams looking to promote maybe are looking at that Venom Crest roster and thinking it might be fresh meat.
Interesting. Okay, we're going to move on from Div 2. We'll
League
see
Up to-
more
yeah,
of them in the future, no doubt.
I just saw that somebody got poked in chat for it is Glorp Academy, not Academy, which is a fantastic.
Oh, it's all right. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it in the future. But yes, the
Honestly.
cats everywhere glorping on Division 1 and 2.
Speaking of,
You can't stop them. You can't stop them.
I mean,
No.
the that which was formerly Glopcat OG, now Paragon, they're coming online. Is it the turnaround, Rob? They won a game?
This is before we've even talked about any of the recap games, but I'm going to put a stake in this one and say no already. I'm just going to say that was... You don't beat Anomaly Smolder 4 times in a row is all I'm saying. Like, maybe the 5th time will also be as lucky as the 4th.
Literally last week, though, you and I were like, you can't just pick Smolder and scale to 45 minutes.
Yeah, you did say that.
We probably need to get into this for Thursday. We'll do Monday first, and then we'll get into the Paragon game on Thursday. Because I've got
rewind.
thoughts about that game. I've got some thoughts about that game, but I'm not going to go to a rant yet. I'm not going to a rant yet about that final game on Thursday.
Yeah.
A quick reminder of Monday's schedule was, I could have got the match cards for this. I'll do that next week, and we can show them off. We had Absolved Broad, Bandits Rise. Off stream, we had Venom Crest Belfast, Paragon versus Inkquick. That's Paraglorp for all of you Glorpers in chat. And Good G versus Bulldog Academy. We're at 5 games from Monday. Leo, I think... No, Leo. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
I'm having a senior moment. Leo was on that show, but Leo was on Thursday.
No. All you young
he
people
doesn't know what day it is.
All you young people.
If I can't read the notes wrong, then I'm not going to read them wrong. Monday.
Back in my day, there were 5 casters, and that's all we ever had.
There were 5 casters. Can I have some more casters, please?
Please, sir.
Just one more. We had a fun show on Monday.
How did we get here?
How did we get here? Avi, go ahead, pick a game. Pick a game from Monday that you have feelings about. Let's talk about it.
Do you want to start at the beginning? Absolved Broad.
We can start at the beginning. Let's start with Absolved and Broad. Sorry, Broad.
Yeah, I'll go with that. No. I think they tried.
Oh, bless.
That is a statement.
Yeah, I'm sort of failing the middle of the pack eye test off of games like this because I think I think it's really hard to tell like who 3-4 in the league are now. I think Belfast looks pretty good unless they fall into a draft trap. I think like Rise also look very good unless they fall into a trap. We'll talk more about the traps they've fallen into as we go through the games.
I've got a lot of thoughts on that one. That's fun.
But it's really hard to tell. Like, is it going to be Inkquick in 3 and 4? Is it going to be Absolved? Like, from the games this week, it's very hard to tell. And I think our quality is like the teams.
Okay, Rob.
Struggling together.
Did you say 3 and 4, as in 3rd and 4th place of these teams?
Yeah. It's hard to tell who's 1 and 2, but I was going to give that away on Thursday when those teams had results.
Oh, okay. I was for a second there. I was like, I feel like there are other teams to discuss in the 3 and 4 bracket that have Absolved and Inkquick.
Thursday. On Monday was when I started to notice that game quality is sort of not a guarantee at the moment. Who has feelings about the Bandits? Because that's the next game up.
I have feelings about the Bandits. I think they need to. I think they
nice feelings.
I think
I'll save my thoughts for the Thursday game.
These thoughts transcend, I think, any game that the Bandits have currently played, in the sense of, no matter what the roster was or what day of the week it is, I think it's the same. Bandits have 4 people that want to play carry champions and a support player running around praying that he can get a god tier engage on Rel. And I think that someone on that roster needs to drop the ego and play a supportive champion. It really is that simple. If you see what's happened in these last few games, it's solo queue. I'm sorry, it really does look like solo queue.
It is quadra threat. It's like quadra threat with no priority.
Every game, and it's like, it just shows like you're trying to give Lars Lars is a great player, but that means that someone else on the roster has to if you take the drafts that they put forward, where's the CC coming from? Where's your crowd control? Where's your team fight presence? You're just trying to side lane permanently, and teams in this league aren't giving you that opportunity to do so. You lost to Venom Crest, who are not looking good, and you lost to Venom Crest despite getting a really good matchup in top where Lars kind of put refresh in the dirt. And you still lost that game as well. The first game that they played at the split. Ryu's come in. The one player Ryu, I need to know how his name is pronounced because
it's just
real names again. I'll say Rue. I'm
Yeah,
calling him Rue from now on.
that makes sense.
Rue is the one player on that roster who's come in and he has looked genuinely good. New players.
Get to him on
didn't have
when we get to Thursday's game because
He's looked good. No, but he looked good on this game as well on Monday. On the
Everyone's got a lot to say.
Vladimir. He looked good. And so, like, you can't really ask him to play facilitators all the time because it's kind of not how mid works. One of the top or jungle,
That's true.
like, you've got one of the top or jungle has to decide to agree to play the Sedge/Ornn of the world because I feel like the other, like Lars and Lungfo's not playing, Trizzy is now, but they kind of want the opposite styles to what each other presents. At least that's the eye test to me. And they're all really aggressive players, which means I guess they'll look great in their wins. They'll probably have amazing scores, they're probably great in scrims where they play hyper aggressive from minute one. But when you play on the stage and people aren't like fighting you back and they're conceding a little bit and playing a bit safer, suddenly everything falls apart and the aggression doesn't work. And that's what it looks like. Caviar has had a horrible split, by the way, so far. I don't know if you look at the stats on him playing ADC, he's died like 5-6 times every game. That you can't have your ADC doing that.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah, but you think how much of that is because there isn't that help, there isn't that support from the rest of the team? Yes, not having a great performance, but again, it could just be because the rest of the team isn't there to support. And that's kind of the issue I think Bandits are going to have this split.
I agree bothly. Not having the best time, but it's being compounded by the fact that he doesn't have an anchor point. He doesn't have a reliable front line. Like, sure, you can pick a tank support, but that tank support is never going to survive long enough to fully be able to peel out a team fight unless it's specifically Alistar. Like, that's pretty much the only support that can realistically survive in a situation like that. So, yeah, we need somebody to swallow their pride a little bit and go, okay, well, this game, Lars wants to go, God forbid he gets his Fiora. That now means that Trizzy or Lungfo, when he comes back...
they don't play those champs. They don't play them.
No.
I know what you're about to say. They don't play them. They simply do not play Sejuani.
You're playing in a competitive league. At this point, I'm afraid your solo queue champion pools are clearly not good enough.
I think
Pick yourself up one tank. Sedge is the easiest champ to play in the world. I can win with Sedge. Hell, play a Mumu.
My head coach.
I
am on Gold Kuchi. I should announce my biases. This is good Kuchi. My head coach managed to play Sejuani every single game for Lars when he played on Versic. So if Goldie can do it, anyone
Shout
can do
out Goldie,
it.
By the way.
Shout out Goldie.
Those of you who are familiar with my Lars meme, it was actually Goldie's idea. I just made the meme.
Yeah. Anyway,
the rosters have not been made public yet, so I'm gonna have to
hold off on that one.
I'm gonna have to hold off on something I would like to talk about.
I'm sure
we'll talk about it Monday.
They should be good. It's annoying. They should be good, and they just keep running into each other.
I'm sure the Bandits are gonna be on that quickly, and I can say no more. So we'll move on. And it's our off-stream game. It's Venom Crest versus Belfast Storm. When Belfast's away, I think not a huge shock to all of us, right?
Not particularly.
Yeah, this new Venom Crest, as they're struggling to feel comfortable in their new skin. Let's say that. When you take the objectively two best players of the roster, Bust and Air, who kind of Goomba stomped the whole league for 2 splits, and you promote them to NLC, who they're doing well. We already said we're very proud of how they're doing up there. Then you're gonna have to take some time to reacclimate to these new players, and yeah, they're still in that getting comfortable again. Obviously, they do need to hit their stride soon, so that they can put themselves in their best possible footing for playoffs. Because RPS standing is closing.
Yeah, the door's shutting a decent amount of the way. It is my favorite thing, I think, about best of one, single round robin instead of double, is you don't have that, like, we're nearly halfway, can I try and twist this round and get like a winning second half in? You just have to hit it from ground one. So it's quite demanding on roster building near the start. I think we are seeing some effects of that. Roster building
UKL
wise,
champions. You've got 2 UKL champions on the Venom Crest roster. Why aren't they doing better? Refresh one on Verdant and then went and had the best performance that the UKL has seen at RPS on Paragon. And then you've got Phrase, who says every single time he's a 2-time champion. Well, it's time to show it. quite frankly. I've come in and chose violence today, by the
Wow.
way.
No, it's
You're
all
It
right.
implies
Okay.
you don't normally, Rob. This is
Like,
no
that's
different.
fair.
It's time for Fraser
That's
to show it, isn't it? It's time for Fraser to show it. He came in and said he could win it for, he could win it for a third time. He's come in and he's a 2-time champion. It's time to show it up in this next half of the split because you're teetering on the edge of being 9th, 10th, and then you've got to go to relegations. And I know you might look at the other teams, but if you don't put the time in, some of these Div 2 teams are hungry to make it back into Div or make it into Div 1.
And time and
So
again,
they
we
got to
see.
really show it.
Yeah, and time and
And they
again we
can
see
show
these Div
anything.
2 rosters show up. Like we've got Absolved.
Mm.
We had
Absolutely.
Gucci come up.
Natives was pretty close. I don't know who watched promo rallies with me,
pretty
but
close.
Natives won like the seeding stage and then had a little bit of unfortunateness, but
Bit of a wobbly.
like had done the hard work, to put it that way. We're gonna move on to Paragon versus Inkquick. Inkquick won this. I wasn't confident in how fast and how
Right.
easy they made it, right? This was not like clean, easy peasy, brush your hands off, get it done.
You're the biggest Inkquick fan here, so you
Yeah.
you love that. You're the biggest Inkquick. You don't start.
Look, just because UK players of a certain age are fantastic players. No, we saw a little bit of a struggle out of the boys. I think Notley has well and truly shown. And
He's
we'll
good.
call this a this week rather than a this game thing. As well and truly shown he's still got it.
I'm not surprised,
man is,
right?
No, man is on an absolute tear. And looks absolutely fantastic in their wins. We'll talk more about 5IQ in the second half because I think it's also fun to talk about their roster swaps. We have glossed over Akers out because Brod is not my club without him, and clearly I hate you.
It's all Joel's fault. Blame
Excellent.
Nemly. It's Nemly's fault. Nemly benched him.
Joel,
Nemly
how could
benched
you
him.
do this to me? How could you do this to me? You've taken away my favorite top laner forever with no reasoning and no recourse, and
Yeah.
not my club.
It's disgraceful
And
behaviour.
then we'll get onto the Thursday stuff, but doesn't even show after struggling in that Gucci game. Doesn't even show up for a post-match interview. Doesn't show his face in front of the fans.
I
and say,
know, no
"It's my
accountability.
fault." No accountability. This isn't my club anymore. Apparently. There's no friends left in the
disgusting.
Bron Friends. It's ridiculous. That power of friendship is gone. I can't believe what they've done to the club.
This is not
Ridiculous.
Theseus's
They've been
friendship.
You
It
know,
is
it's family.
Theseus's
Robert.
broken ship.
Like, when's Gov coming in? When they gonna?
Yeah, when's
System.
Gov back? My top
Gov-
laner.
Yeah, where's my top laner coming back in? He could do a number right now in the league, I believe.
Okay.
Gucci versus Bulldog closes out on Monday, and this is another half of the eye test I'm no good about. Rob is in the mud. Someone's gonna have to take this from him.
Oh, you can see him
Bulldogs
dying.
won this. Now Bulldog haven't changed much. Bulldog is still Bulldog. It's still the corner vertex that we know and love.
Yes, but no, but yes.
Then not only are we not beaming about one win is now more than 0 wins, 2 wins, a 50% win rate for Bulldog Academy.
They're coming back.
I have a I need to make a request that we break chronological order when we go to talk about Thursday's game.
Nice.
Because
Go Okay.
I
for it,
need to
go
talk
for it.
about Bulldog back to back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Pivel
Yeah.
has
why
been
not?
huge for this roster.
Yeah.
Introduction of this new jungler has been massive, and the movement of Harakari to top lane, him stepping in, he's looking great. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. He doesn't need to be the big shining star in top lane because they've got
He
carries
doesn't need the
elsewhere.
Corki jungle. He doesn't need the
No.
Corki jungle. He just
Thank
will
God.
be the machine.
He'll just play Cho'Gath instead. Yeah, exactly. He'll just play the
I mean-
play normal champion.
This team
You go
is
5-0
looking-
on top. It's
looking
gonna be a
solid.
good time.
They're looking decent. Like, when they were looking towards Thursday's game, I was sat there going, man, like, second half of Thursday, it looks like 2 teams that were meant to be top of table with Belfast versus Bandits, expectation versus reality, and then 2 teams that were meant to be bottom table, Paragon, Bulldog, expectation versus reality, and then the Thursday game happened, and oh me, oh my, Pivel was just not allowed to play the game.
He played Lilia though, right? Like he didn't
Yes,
pick a
true.
the 2 wins have been off of Wukong, and I want to say with Bulldog as well, like the Chi game. I'm going to defend my org a little bit here. Is we did have a sub mid laner, And I think if you then rewatch the Thursday game, Kurosh as a player, as much as Temporal want to go back and say, "Oh, I reverse swept him back in 2021," he's actually an exceptionally good,
Yes.
and he brings a lot of comms, like brings the comms together. And when you've got a number of the players who aren't as confident with their English, or you've got a rookie jungler like in Qualsy, having that veteran presence in mid lane who's willing to blind Orianna every game or take whatever mid matchup and face whoever, it's like a huge difference maker. And it's no slight to Sanjay because he had to step in because I had different people going to a wedding on Gunchi in this past weekend. Different players getting drunk and going to weddings. But
Are we talking about the same game?
But like
we're still on Bulldog, but we're backwards and forwards in time.
Bulldog Gunchi. Really,
you know how Rob works.
It's that Soranjay was stepped into that game, so I think that it gave Faulty a better matchup. It gave Faulty like a maybe an easier matchup than was expected in that game, because I think that is probably the weakness, and no offense to Mike, has always been kind of the struggle point for that Vertex / Bulldog roster has been the mid lane. Faulty having a smaller pool, the Heimerdinger, the Quinn, and then it's like Nico, and then it's like Ari, and then often he struggles in lane. What's got solo kills by
was
the
it Nico they won with? I'm already having a...
They won with an Eco, they won with an Eco. But it was a lot of like Soranjay coming back into the league as a sub, played on Paragon before in mid lane, still played his aggressive style, but got caught out in team fights too much by Nico ultimates. And that just means that when your Syndra, who's the one that's fed, is dying instantly, you're not going to win the game. As a complete aside, don't forget Faulty is a very, I don't want to say flip player. He got solo killed like once by the Mac subbing in mid lane on Paragon a couple splits ago. So it's like, that's the level you're talking about. He's either can match people, or it's like he's losing to a D4 manager. So like there's
the range is huge. The range is
very huge. And that's,
we've also seen his Heimerdinger just like
beat Errol.
clatter top two teams. Just like,
where's this?
Oh no,
from?
we didn't ban the Bulldog champions. Like we're gonna lose this game.
That's kind of the thesis statement of Four Nations level in general. Like, you have to be like, we're at a point where cohesive drafts are heavily rewarded. Discordant drafts, unless played well, don't can't always get you there. But
yeah, to loop it back into like the roster discussions as well, it's definitely like teams that have found like a solution that fits them and the meta. Like they have a more complete answer. Whereas it's clear that if you are playing champions bent out of sorts, you are going to struggle.
But then you've also got to respect mains. Like, you can't give Mike Heimerdinger. You can never ever, well,
never.
Much as J-Real and I actually want somebody to disrespect Lars to the point that they leave Fiora open, like, realistically, like, it's not worth it to take the risk, especially in as unforgiving a format as ours. Like, all of a sudden, Lars 1v9's a game, rematch. Bandits suddenly become resurgent, and you're in a potentially much weaker spot looking for playoffs contention.
Okay, the biggest upset of the week. We're going back to chronological order after giving Bulldog the stage they have well and truly earned this week. 2-0 on the week. That's absolutely nuts.
2-0? Not 2-0.
Is it not 2-0? Have I written down some of these results?
Yeah, they
Paragon won that game.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everyone hates you,
Bernie had
everyone in
absolute barnstorm on the Trundle.
I was very, very tired by that time in the evening. I did watch that game, I promise.
Pibble didn't get to exist, and finally, Paragon's strategy of giving Anomaly Smolder and waiting 40 minutes worked. Except they didn't even do that. The reason it worked, and I will get on my soapbox for this, is they picked Smolder and they didn't wait 40 minutes. Bernie was being proactive. They were actually doing stuff on the Rift. They built themselves an advantage. And then there was a bit of a wibble. And then we got to a Baron fight. And all of a sudden, Anomaly gets a quadra kill and the game's over. That's what you do with a Smolder.
Yeah.
Shout out Chompy, as Loopy reminds us in chat. If we're talking about champions, you must ban
Taric.
Chompy Taric.
All day.
Always.
Every time.
Can't leave it open.
Rise versus Inquick.
Oof.
If you ask me like 10 minutes before draft starts, like who wins this game? I'm like, Rise Gaming are the hot stuff. Inquick have shown some clear flaws. Kerberos out as well.
Yep.
Like, I wasn't sure. And it was like Dragdar on the sheet. So bot lane's had a boost, and that's okay. You know, Prosphere Dragdar is like
Bit of a boost, as in
throwback.
Okay, Rob.
Artorias ABC to Dragdar.
Yeah, if we think about it, that's 4, 5. It's nearly a 2,000 LP boost.
Wow.
Little bit
Nearly.
of a
We're going
To his-
from green to 1,600 LP.
To Artorias'
Like
credit, though,
peaks.
as he said, he got
Yeah.
replaced in AD carry, but when
No,
he's
he's
definitely-
gone back home. He's going back home, mate.
The
It's an
Cho'Gath went
improvement.
hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
Just-
I mean,
Artorias had the
pick
hammer.
the
He
Cho
knew
and
where he
chill.
needed to be.
It's quite simple.
I-
Cho and chill.
Okay. No, I have some
Chill.
interesting thoughts about
Stack
this
for 25
IQ.
minutes.
game.
Become
Hit
unkillable.
me with the Cho and chill. What's the Cho and chill about?
Okay, I'm gonna
Stack
say
for
something
25
and you're
minutes.
gonna hate me for it.
Go on.
For the first 25 minutes, I hated it. I thought it was a useless pick.
Yeah. I think
mean, this is-
speaks
So good.
speaks to how top
Yeah.
lane goes right now. Black Box has had this when we duo queue. I'm just like, I could win top.
You won't.
It's
what's the
more
point?
important that I don't lose it and I pick a champion that isn't
Yeah.
completely useless when an AD carry hits it.
Exactly, and I think that's exactly how Artorias played that top lane. I mean, losing out to a Scion, obviously, that is not a good thing. Shocker,
Mhm.
but you see in those later team fights around like 25 minutes, 30 minutes, oh my god, it came in clutch.
Hits and
Like,
ruptures.
you
It's-
hit-
it's-
You hit Cho'Gath in the middle of a fight. What can Ryze do? Absolutely nothing when you've got Dragdar's Varus putting in damage all over the place. Orianna
Mm.
just chucking balls everywhere. It was absolutely perfect coordination, honestly, and that's how it felt to watch. Because I was watching that game. I was league ups for that one, so I got to see everything happen live, and the coordination was honestly next level. That's the thing.
Magic.
That's the thing I've noticed in comparison to this IQ roster from last week.
Mm.
The coordination with Dragdar coming in has been insane.
Magic. It was full on hit Varus, all gas, no breaks, and it was yeah. it
Absolutely. I
showed
mean, I'm
it
looking at the
was
stats now, and
absolute
we're
beast.
seeing 43,000 damage. Okay, something's going right.
So right. Yeah, I was happy that Inkwig just put on such a fantastic show. Beely had a really good game. You're right, the shockwaves
had
were
a good game.
nuts. What year is it? I'm excited about Artorias, Beely, Prospère,
I'm actually gonna
Notley.
disagree. I don't think
Drag
Beely played
that.
massively well that game. I think Beely did nothing.
I
that
think
game.
it was
I think
enough.
Beely didn't
No, it
do
was enough.
anything. I think it was
No,
more
like-
Nolty and Dragda. I think
Yeah,
also
Notley was
Rise.
nuts.
I
No,
think
Nolty
you
was
watch that
good.
game back. The draft was awful from Rise. The logic in
Yes,
that draft
yeah.
makes no sense. Like in the sense of
Yeah.
you understand Sivir into Varus, it's fine. You can kind of stonewall the lane. I understand going
It's
the
sort of
Pantheon.
accepted, isn't it? But they really should have lent into the Ezreal.
But it's still fine.
Yeah.
It's still Civ is fine. Pantheon's fine. But then they lock in Wukong Orianna, and your response is to take Sion, not take your mid lane, and get like Talia is obviously a hard lane into Orianna. I'm not gonna pretend that it's a good lane, but not taking your mid laner there, getting mid lane pull pinch, taking Sion, giving Cho over where multiple times this week and last week we've seen. I mean, talk about Bulldog, Harry Carey played it. Cho into Sion, even if you lose out in
Oh,
that
yeah.
matchup as Cho, you come into the rest of the game and you have 7,000 HP and you one shot the enemy ADC. So like it's still fine for the Cho even if you struggle in the lane. So he just sits. They take the Cho anyway. So they ban the Ornn and the Camille. It doesn't really matter because it turns out the tanks are just broken and you've got Sivir who doesn't kill them. And then you end up going like you end up taking Alistair blind by the way in that game. So you get
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was.
you get so the Sion is blind, but you give over a good matchup for a Cho and another tank that Sivir can't kill. You take the Alistair blind because it might be good because it's good into Sivir, but then they just take Braum, and so now you're playing Varus Braum versus Sivir Alistair, and you're level 1. You're sat there going, well, I guess I can't touch the wave. Right?
No, that's exactly
Can't
like
play
what
the
we saw.
game like from level 1. So now Sivir's out of the game. So they had 2 side lanes that even though they punished Artorias, it wasn't enough. And I just think that if you watch that game, the early plays are irrelevant from a lot either side. The gold lead is pretty much the same until the dragon fight where Ryze get it and then they run in and their target focus is terrible. Two of them, Beely Muffin and Tweak jump on Beely,
Yeah.
get shockwave pulled off, and then Beely has Seraphs and survives. And then the other 3 run into the other 3-man core as Artorias TP's in. It's just Ryze being not on the same page and on the same target. And the one person they should be hitting there is Dragdar. Because
Yes.
Yeah.
if you actually watch what Beely does in those fights, he has a ball on top of them and doesn't shockwave. So they were always in a state where Beely would have got his cooldowns off, if that makes sense. Like, there's no point targeting Beely in that scenario. The DPS is going to be Dragdar, and you have to get that Varus shut down. They didn't have any
Especially,
real
like,
engage. They
all
had
the
no
more.
real engage. The
Yeah.
draft is not good enough. A draft was not playable, I think, past about 20 minutes in that game, unless you're really far ahead. I think you have to be ahead as Rise in that game, and you aren't. And then
They play too
after
passive to do
25
that.
They paid too. Well, they paid too passive. The game was within a 400 gold for most of the period of time, and then Rise decide, well, I guess we'll just into a dragon fight, and the game is over. And that's what
Brack,
happened.
was it
That's
just
how it
into
felt.
Dragon?
That's how it felt.
Like they did into dragon. They got the Drake, and then they sprinted into them, and they sort of like split off, like it was we're playing StarCraft 2, and the Banelings are coming in. And like,
Hell yeah.
It's
Baneling
over.
split aside because I love it. I love
Yeah.
a dirty Baneling split. I love watching the Marines just explode in clouds of what they used to be. Brack, what was your thought?
I mean, just following on to Rob thing. As soon as you see that Varus is going on hit, the access to him becomes so much easier because he has to stay in auto attack range. This
the
is
draft
not.
didn't help either.
Yeah,
Like
this is
Cho'Gath,
not this is not your poke Varus. He cannot sit a whole screen away and like nuke you with a piercing arrow. Like it's still gonna do some decent damage, but he needs to be autoing you consistently. And Varus, like, what's he got? 575 range? You can reach that easily.
Yeah, he's
Oh, God, yeah.
especially for a Scion. He's
You got
he's in
Scion,
there.
Panth, Hui. That's easy to get on. Like
I
just
think-
burst down Varus, but they let Dragdar go. That's the problem.
surprised.
The biggest thing for me was like I could see it if they invaded from Rise. That team needed
Yeah,
chaos
that
to get
would've
into the
worked.
lanes and get things
Yeah.
like more accessible for them. Because otherwise, you were up against a big team fight, and the bot lane level 1 was sort of thing we expect.
Draft, don't you? You go back to draft, and it's like, well, you take
Yeah,
the
like-
on line. If you want to take the way, you can still take that way on because you've taken the.
You can have way early.
I don't think anything in that, like the Cho / Braum 4/5 from Inkwick actually changed the Hui being good in that game for the matchup into Orianna. So take your mid laner on 3. You can still take your support blind if you want to on 4. And the one thing is, Aniki, we see him as this amazing weak side top laner. And honestly, I think he's one of the best tops in the league, if not the best. Actually, genuinely. The problem is that he is blinding Sion there against Artorias, who, yes, he's gone back home temporal, but he's been playing ADC and solo queue. And Aniki is literally, I think, up until recently, was the highest ranked UK top laner on LoL Pros. He is a carry player at heart. If you go back on his account, he's a Gwen Ambessa. He plays a bit Cassandre, but Gwen Ambessa, these kind of champions. And yet he's able to play these weak side champs so well. Look at the lead he gets in this game from all the lane swapping. Imagine in this game, you actually give him R5, which maybe against Kerberos they were hoping to do that. Give Aniki R5, give him the resources because you're already taking Sivir. You're going to take Jamsu. Give Aniki those resources. I think suddenly Artorias being 0-4 or whatever it was at the beginning of this game, you've actually got a Gwen that's 4-0. The Gwen is
Oh yeah,
now.
you can
Or
actually
the
have
Ambessa
someone
is
who can do
fed.
something.
They have someone who can actually do something. It's not going too many carries because we know that Tweak is going to play the Pantheon or a more facilitator kind of role. And then you can have Jamsu playing the engage. The draft makes a bit more sense. I just think their priority in giving BB Muffin the best chance possible in R5 wasn't way to go. I think the draft was really hard to play this game if it got later because I don't think you get through Cho'Gath even with Leandri's on the way.
No, never.
It's too tough. It's too tough. And I'm a fan of the Aniki fan club. I think it is well deserved. We're gonna move on.
I feel like we
We're
spent a
gonna
good
talk a little
10
bit-
minutes on that one game. So.
Yeah, we did a
I
bit,
think it was.
didn't we?
I think it was
Okay, though.
deserved because I think Inkwick
Definitely,
really hit the gas there.
They've
That
turned
was
around since
Very cool.
last week. It's impressive.
Absolved Venom Crest. This was close till it wasn't. It was a bit powerful, Brack.
Ziggs ain't winless in 4 Nations anymore.
Let's go.
No, I was very impressed with the Ziggs.
It's a hard
So-
matchup he had to play mid.
It really
shows
was.
it shows a lot, in the sense that you got your LeBlanc ahead, but she's just gonna get outvalued by a lot of things in the late stage of the game if you don't keep the tempo up. And Pressburg did not have a fun time. That
No.
Jhin so fed, like 4k gold up at one point.
It was ridiculous. But again, how do you even play that lane?
It's also the
That's
Jarvan,
neat,
right?
that's the neat
chase
part.
building.
You don't.
Exactly. that's the problem for him. That's why Absolve just dominated there. It's
I also
easy.
think Venomcrest didn't have Venomcrest have relied on Chrisberg in the game. Even though they're 1 and 3, Chrisberg is the one that's like their carry, right?
Oh,
And
you
he
have
has to play Varus versus J4 Ziggs Jin. So he can't blow on here. He has to go poke, and then the J4 Ziggs just one shots him every fight. And it's like, I think the draft from Resolve was really smart to play. I actually quite like the set as well. I like having the set as a side lane presence. You can't really let the Scion leave you can't leave the lane as Scion. I quite like what Absolve are doing there with the kind of wombo combo comp. And someone on Venomcrest has to step up, because if Crispberg's being targeted like that, Galul had a good game in terms of score, but not really in terms of impact, in terms of keeping it even. And Refresh and Phrase weren't really in it.
If you want to pick Ziggs, by the way,
Yeah.
just a heads up. If you ever want to pick Ziggs and you want an easy time of things, the Megaclysm combo is like, it's the freest thing in the world.
Target selection. Yeah, just take the flash.
Like, okay, do you like Ziggs Ultimate? Do you struggle to land maximum damage with it? What if you put everyone in a tiny little box first?
That's exactly what we saw happen. I mean, at one point, I saw a 4-man Ziggs ult all in the center. It was honestly one of the most insane things I've seen. And the play it came from as well. Emil was completely out of position, almost getting caught out, had to back away, and then suddenly, Tea Time's coming in. Huge Jarvanol, everyone hops in. Fight one, just like that.
Yeah, we did see a few LeBrons that game where it's just like, he's cool, and it's like, no, he is 1 pixel on the right side of his satchel and is now completely free, and midair is opening up, which is so cool to see. So it was a good time. Something we're going to spend a little bit more time on. We've got some clips from Good Chi versus Brod and Friends, and I've seen one mention of Rob in chat, and I can't help but think there's going to be some Rob outs in a moment.
I think we're going to see a lot of Rob outs. Sorry, Sim.
Shall we roll the clip?
I think we should.
Once I prepped it, yes.
There we go. Right, Rob, stall like crazy.
Rod lost a vein. No, they lost it. No. So I think that this game, if it's a really good game actually. I know it obviously was shown on the Broad Sports channel. I do recommend people going over back to watch it, because it was a real back and forth until it kind of wasn't. And we see again Cho and Sion in the top lane. And once again, Cho becomes unkillable, and no one can get through the tank. But Marrow had a really good game on Vayne as well.
That's my AD carry.
That's my ADC
It was
right
a
there.
great play.
It was a really good play on top. I mean, overall, you can see the sadness on Gov's face there. Look at this. You can, if you could zoom, you can't zoom in, but you can see the physical pain on Gov's face in that clip as well.
Can you blame it though?
And I think that this game, I had the pleasure of actually being on there, obviously on the stream on the Broad channel in enemy territory. It was a really, really good game. I think there's a few things with Broad that are a bit questionable in terms of. I think Spark has a high value on Corki as a champion in draft often. I think that champion has fallen a little bit out of like the higher echelon of what people want from an ADC. I don't think it's actually at that same level. And I think you also see in this game why tank meta is so disgusting. If you go back and watch it, there's moment where there's a second clip at the end where there's a Cho that walks through the entire enemy team and you can't do anything. There's no damage. Really good, solid game. Korosh coming back, and if you can clearly see knocked at Orianna again for the second time in the league, and it just shows that the one tricks being banned out don't really mean anything. And this is obviously the fight where Loopy just walks at them under. Look at the turret shots. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, look at his health bar. It's not
4,
moving.
5,
This stupid champion.
6, 7. like
Only just hit half HP.
And he's being hit the entire time. I think that this
That's
matchup,
insane.
eventually Cho becomes unkillable, and if you don't have tank killers, it's very hard. I was surprised they didn't go for like a Xayah for the Nocturne Orianna, or like a Kai'Sa, because Spark's Kai'Sa is incredibly good, and that can get through tanks, or there's obviously Cogbor and these kind of champs still around, that with the blade buffs, maybe they're good. I think Broad overall, 2-2, not where they want to be. It's a good bounce back, to be fair. I know, obviously, I'm on cheap. It's a good bounce back to having lost to Bulldog in a pretty embarrassing fashion.
Yeah.
And then to come back and beat Broad. And it was genuinely quite a solid win in the sense of Broad had a few in moments, but once it got in Chi's control towards 20-ish minutes, Vayne gets 2 items, it really felt quite bad. And Gov was not having the best time on stream. And I just want to make sure to check up on Gov, make sure he's okay, because
we love him. We love him. And it's worth shouting out. We do have 5 games a day, and it's not always the most obvious. We do try and make sure it always ends up on the match cards. Streaming this week, we have had Sea Guardian for Belfast, Jolly BDG for Bulldog Academy, of course, the incredible Broad Sports one. Every
We love
time.
Broad.
Teddy AM for Rise, and of course Eversia for all of their Div 2 games. They do end up in our tweets for the match card days. So if you see them there and you always want more Four Nations, 2 monitors at once, get them on. Get them on.
I
You've
always
seen
want
the
more
excuses in
formations.
chat, by the way. You've seen the excuses coming out from Broad Sports.
Oh, I saw it. I was
I
waiting
saw
for you to
Jason
address
Temple.
them.
Temporal
We
out.
don't have our
Waiting
full
on
Honestly.
X apology.
I want to point out here that the Ack attack to Smee is not a crazy downgrade. You're sitting there and acting
No,
as
it's
if
not.
you subbed like me in top lane or something. Like Smee is still an excellent top laner. I mean, this just shows the management problems at Broad because they're already bad mouthing their substitute who comes in. They bench Akkers and then they badmouth the substitute that they bring in to cover him while they bench him. It's unbelievable from the management of Broad, and I really think they need to take a good long hard look at themselves.
Yappa, yappa, yappa.
And after this game, management didn't even come on. Gov was there by himself. Nemly too busy typing in chat. He needs to apologize.
I don't know. Sounds like Joel out to me after a fantastic step in from Smee. Moving on, Belfast Storm versus the Bandits. Maybe the biggest differential on the table, or close to it.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's really surprised, are they? I hate to say
Are
it.
you,
but-
are you shocked? Are you?
It hurts my heart a little bit because Rue is playing his heart out game after
Oh,
game,
yeah.
and nothing is actually manifesting for him yet, which
It's because we're
it
seeing
really
the same
sucks.
problems.
Like after this split, regardless of how the split goes, I hope Rue sticks with it because I've seen so many like moments of promise from him, and he is a young UK talent. We want him to continue playing, continue.
Don't get
know,
disheartened, please.
Yes,
Please,
No,
please,
honestly.
UK
we
people, please.
we are
It's a
rooting
very
for
good
you, Rue.
performance.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just a shame because we can all see the problems with Bandits. They just don't have that
many
team
cooks.
fighting, the coordination, the draft. It falls apart, and you can see it right at the start.
It's
but I
very
mean,
silly.
as
This
you
draft was
alluded to,
bad.
the changes might be on the way.
I mean, the drop.
Yeah.
We can set this up for if the changes are coming, as Temporal may have hinted at. The draft this game was Gwen, Viego, LeBlanc, Sivir, Rel, and if you're
Yeah.
playing LeBlanc isn't a facilitator, right? Can set chains up, but wants to play on off angles to try and look for one shots onto squishy targets. So who is frontlining? Well, it's going to be the Rel, so you're going to have a horrible time. And then you've got a VA. The rest of your team comp has, you've got, I guess, a stun. From
Yeah,
Viego,
but
and
That's only one person.
damage. You got
and
loads
it's
of
nowhere near
damage,
enough.
I guess.
You've got so much damage, but no way to actually get it down. So what's the point?
And Raider kind of had his way with Lars this game, by the way. I don't know.
Which is
if you
insane
feel
to
like
think
it-
about
it-
for
Raider really had his
Kayle.
way
I
with
mean,
Lars. and, like,
is it insane to think about? Like, Raider and Lars came in as the big sort of hyped up top laners for the split. One has had,
Oh,
like, they've just had opposite trajectories. Lars has had good games, but the systemic problems with Bandits in these first 2 weeks have just meant that no matter how well you play, it's not.
This game was bad, by the way. This game was really bad by Lars.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Lars basically was out of this game. Not early on, but, like, didn't really get anything done. And then you had Trizzy did less than, like, 8k damage or something on the Viego. It was like a repeat of Roulette's performance on day one versus Resolved.
Speaking of,
And when you-
that
You can't
Man's
be
ran
bad
the
with
rift.
Viego.
And like there is a singular moment in the first 5 minutes of the game where an invade is attempted by the side of Bandits, and it ends with Roulette getting 2 kills. But
How does that
literally,
happen?
it was from that point almost that the game was kind of done, because as soon as the Nocturne hits level 6, he ults somebody, they die. And he's just pressing R on cooldown pretty much, and watching Bandits fall left and right.
Stability as well. You had Limsey on Azir, which is the Limsey champion. Like everyone,
Oh, yeah.
if you think of Limsey's best champ is Azir by far. Like in terms of his performance in UKL, he can play Orianna and stuff, but it's Azir. And then you had like Fuyu on Varus, which has options to facilitate plays, and then you also have like the Nautilus as well. So it's not the same kind of concept where it's like you have these 4 carries, because you have setup in some of the lanes, you have playmaking on the Azir. And overall, I mean, there's a few moments where Fuyu gets caught out by Rue again. Again, Rue trying his absolute hardest. But I just don't think it's enough. I think Bandits,
No.
again, I think they will have a resurgence at the end of the split. I do think they'll find something. And I think when you've got that much aggression in you,
Like yeah,
You
anyone
actually- you can-
anyone who
anyone
drops
who-
the ball.
Anyone drops the ball, you will find wins. I just think
Yeah.
that if you're against organized teams, they're not giving you that space. Raider
Yeah.
looks really good this game, and this is something where there was concerns, I think, from the first game and even some of the others where I would say that it wasn't necessarily a 1v. I think Raider did have a very good NAR performance in an off-stream game as well, if I remember correctly, last week. It just comes in, if he's able to have this performance, like how often are they carrying? Are you going to be able to, our team's going to punish the bot lane because, it's for you little pants, got reverse swept in a best of 5 4 years ago, hee hee ha ha. They are
Okay,
beating
Rob.
all the
It's
Raider.
worth pointing out, like Rob brings this up. We bent that meta so ridiculously hard away from that team, and I got away with maybe the best Twisted Fate player in the Twisted Fate meta that the UK has ever seen. We were merchants of the day. It's completely fine.
Now that
Yeah,
I've
living in the
said it
past.
enough. The way I've said it enough, now Temporal has to backtrack because if
I
I
don't have to backtrack.
he
I
goes,
just
"Yeah."
don't want any revisionist history. We were in our moment. Or both of those teams were very good.
Yeah, so I think that there are things you can target on Belfast. I actually wonder about Limsey, weirdly enough, because I think the fact he got Azir this game surprised me a lot. I think if you give Raider any champion, he's going to be really good. That's what I mean. I always
Raider's been
find
looking really good.
Raider can play Kayle this game, but he has like a billion other champions. I don't know if targeting him is a good idea. I think maybe targeting the other parts and trying to smash through that as opposed to trying to deal with Raider is the best way to go because Bandits
Yeah.
kind of tried to match fire with fire and it just didn't.
We used to have a raider that you'd ban Darius, you'd ban stuff like Camille, and that'd be enough. And I think that raider left the Four Nations a long time ago and came back as someone else. And it is
Yeah.
impressive to see the power.
Absolutely.
I don't hate what I'm seeing though. I think it could be a lot better. I like the idea of fighting fire with fire, but what's the point if you can't even light that fire?
Also against what we had as the best team coming into this split, by the way. I think many people
Oh,
had
yeah.
Raider Roulette on their roster.
That's the question.
Experience,
And
ERL1.
it does look fantastic.
It
Gotta
looks
give them credit where it's
fantastic.
due.
We had some
Like-
question marks on Belfast Storm after obviously they lost their first game. After the subsequent 3 games, do we think they're actually coming into their own
Yes.
as top team?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
difficult to say if they're top, but they are definitely in the upper echelon, 100%.
They are, definitely. I mean, I think Raider, having had not the best game one, chose violence and came back. And I think the last game he played against Bulldog, against Venom Crest, and against Bandits, I think he has been absolutely phenomenal. And I think that we all had them very high. Do they continue this going into playoffs, for example? Like, there's always chances to drop games in best of series if people prep for it correctly. And like, you can't always get away with, I'm going to diff top every game. Like you can the difference from Raiders to the other top laners maybe, but I don't necessarily know if you find players like we haven't seen Belfast versus Belfast versus Rise yet, for example. I'm really excited to see a Niki in that scenario because he is the Stonewall top laner along with Lupion Chi, and we haven't seen Inquick yet versus Belfast either. And so you get to see Curb, Lupion, and Iki, who all have different kind of styles of stonewalling and dealing with lanes. That some more successful than others. We'll get to see those kind of matchups. That's really exciting to me that we're going to have that sort of clarity coming through. But I think Belfast are just phenomenal at the moment. As much as, I kind of wish they weren't looking as good for my own sake. I think they do look very, very good.
That is a full recap of week 2 of the Four Nations Summer 2025. We'll see you back on Monday, 28th of July, 6:30 p.m. sharp, and maybe a little earlier if you'd like to catch the desk. For Absol versus Bandits, Inquick versus Bulldog Academy, Good Chi versus Rise, which unfortunately we'll have to get the clips for next weekend's show. Paragon versus Venom Crest, and Belfast Storm versus Broad and Friends. I don't know about you guys, but I think Inquick versus Bulldog Academy might be my favorite
That's
game
gonna
of
be a
League
funny
of
one.
Legends that is going to be played for quite
That just
some
sounds like
time.
it's going to be a good
It's going
time.
to be something.
Who's playing for Inquick? Do we know? I mean, you can't leak that, but
I
think
know.
I don't know. I can probably
Only
find
time
out.
will tell, but
I-
Temporal won't.
I think only time will tell. Spot
It'll be,
on.
it'll be
spot on.
exciting. It'll be exciting no matter what.
It
what,
will.
right? Because this is where Inquick lose to Bulldog, and then everything is just completely makes no sense. This is the closest
that'd be
I
fun.
think we've had, right? I think this is the closest.
I
we've
tell a
had in
lie.
League of
I don't know. It's not in yet. It's still up in
Temporal.
the air.
Tune in on Monday to find out.
To find out. Absolutely, absolutely.
if Dragdar, I mean, obviously he didn't want to. He has gone off and he's subbing in. If he plays more games, Dragdar is a serious threat, like a real big threat.
Absolutely.
And like
Dragdar's
Curb
been
comes
insane.
back in. In some ways, I actually prefer that. This is going to sound sort of slanderous. I actually prefer this Ink Quick iteration to last Split's Ink Quick iteration.
Oh, okay.
If Dragdar is playing
Hot take.
in ADC and Curb is top. If you did Curb Dragdar and then you have Beely, and then because Beely's pool is bigger than BZ's pool is, and although the Z threat is gone, I think Beely has a bit more comp XP, and then with I think Notley has shown
It layers out differently, right?
It layers out
Notley
differently.
is.
And you have engage supports as well, right? You don't have Kit and Lee on just enchanters, so it gives
Mm,
Dragdar even more
It
ability
does.
to have space. Like you're not having to play with enchanter pretty much every game, and so like I think it opens things out a lot more in terms of how they want to draft. I think Notley has looked incredible, and it wasn't that surprising given he was smashing Prime League Div 2 in 2023 rather. So he's obviously come back after only a year off. He looks amazing, but
it's a big gear change from Karina, right? Who was also a machine, but like 5IQ just pick machines for their junglers. Like both of them are nuts.
they're really good. Like
It's
Karina
different
was
style though. You're right.
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit more like I feel more confident in the comp like readiness of this current roster than the previous one.
It does
So
feel
that's
stronger.
only, it's only if Dragdar is playing, by the way, because I think no flame to Artorias, but I think again, if Artorias is your ADC versus Dragdar, I think Dragdar is just a phenomenal player who suddenly he's going to look a bit monstrous if he has like engaged supports on his team and has people playing forward for him, which I think if you check the finals, last split Curb had a bit of a bust, but generally Dragdar also didn't have the best final 3 games either. Not bust, Dragdar didn't have the best final 3 games.
Not really.
But I'm excited.
think we'll see
I
more of that.
Air jumped out and scared them a bit. I think that's fair. Like I'm coming down to you.
How dare you bully my sub Chimera? I'm coming, boy. And then
You bullied my substitute. Now prepare to die.
like I think
Okay.
you know,
Okay, Temp.
yeah, he. Yeah, I'm excited for a lot of the games. I think as we open up into the end of the split weeks, I'm also excited to see if Bandits can pick up a win. 'Cause
They get
They have-
one at the very
there are some
least.
wins. There are some wins fishing around at that bottom of the table. But as long as they don't get too disheartened.
Much as I like them, and of course, and it's totally not because Emil's a 6 player. Much as I like Absolved, they have shown
They're not getting it Monday.
some
right?
wibbles.
Okay,
And
maybe they're getting it Monday.
like, if these prophesized bandits changes can fix us the fundamental issue, then maybe they do take a win in that one. I think it's too early to tell for sure. Obviously, that change might mean that they, have to take this game to sort of reacclimate again, because switching styles is not just a flick of a switch.
No.
But if I were to look at like teams that I think they could beat, like Absolved, if they draft well, if they pick their target, try and prioritize putting a particular member behind, as we saw with Tea Time, got completely just put out of the game in one of Absolved's games, one of their losses. If they can do something similar, there. If Bandits can try and formulate something similar, not necessarily to Tea Time, but something like that, where they have a key point of like, right, Lars is so much stronger, and push a game through like that, maybe they do it, but it's too early to tell.
You're hungering for some Tryndamere, and that's the way to be. Avi,
Absolutely
which game
not.
are you most excited about on Monday? And clearly don't want Tryndamere picked in.
Listen, we all saw the Tryndamere earlier in the week, and I don't think it looks fantastic, but I think in the right team comp it'll look fine. I have absolutely no idea, to be honest with
That's
you.
all right. You can choose all of them. I choose Inquick.
I'll choose all of them.
Bulldogs.
No, Inquick Bulldog is going to be a good one though. I'm going to look forward to watching that one, but I think my eyes are honestly on Belfast Broad. I think that could be a spicy one.
Yeah, it's gonna be spicy. Is Akers back? Do they unbench the Akers, do you think?
I doubt it.
I think his
he
apology,
apologised?
otherwise known as his British Airways flight home, is not scheduled. It's not scheduled yet. Not quite. Brack, which game are you most excited about for Monday? It's okay to say Paragon Venom Crest.
It isn't.
It is, but
But
Oh.
I might have talked myself into being, I don't know if it's
Are you just an
excitement, but
Absol fan now?
academic interest in what these bandit changes mean. And also, like,
Okay,
if they don't fix it and Absolved walk over them, then, you know, I'm not too upset about that either.
Rob, why are you excited for Gucci versus Rise?
was
And
about
why are
to
we
say,
gonna
I
be
wonder
here in 7
why.
days?
Why might Rob be excited for good chi?
Have a think.
Are you-
Two 3-1
gonna
teams.
win?
It's 2 3-1 teams. There's a few things to be excited about, I think, in this game. One, it's off stream, so no one will know what happens apart from me, so that'll be amazing.
So stream
And-
it.
I'll try and figure something
Love
out.
and
And
Nick,
also,
you know you need to get that streamed.
We get it on
sort it
Twitter.
out.
We get it on Twitter.
So I think that firstly the you've obviously got that kind of aspect of it being 3-1. You've got Tweak, who was the ex-Gucci jungler, obviously playing for Rise, and so there's a little bit of vengeance maybe there. I think the way we match up will be very interesting, because I think you've got two orgs that are trying to like get that top 4. Like Rise and Gucci have really kind of struggled to push into that, you know, not household name, but that top 2, that kind of, you know, wanting to be seen as a serious team. Like Rise tried
Yeah,
last year and they got that top 4, but I think
We see
this
glimmers,
split-
right? But it isn't. It's never split long.
This is their
they-
opportunity.
And they also have to. This is not being rude. They have to pick, like, when you have Broad taking the Cabbage Core lot, and then, you know, you have like the old guard only coming back when Kerberos picks up the phone and says, "Hello, I need 4 players."
That's how it works for them, isn't it?
So I think Rise and Gucci, you know, have to go and find these like other UK kind of players, right? Like BB Muffin obviously comes in with Sin and Jamsu for Rise. You've got a Niki out of nowhere who's a UK player, looks incredible. And on Gucci, you've had to bring up, you know, Maris now a resident who's played here for a couple years now. You've obviously a year and a half, and then you also got like Kurosh coming back in, and you've got like Loopy who kind of established himself on Bandits. I think it's all cool to see these kind of players that. Sin and Jamsu aren't really on the periphery, right? But the players that maybe aren't on like the broad roster, the UK, you know, big up the UK kind of rosters. They're kind of coming in. Like Tweak is half British as well. I've said it a million times. Tweak is half British as well. So you've got like this kind of 2 teams wanting to build their own identity in the league, make content, be around, represent the UK scene. So I think it is going to be really, really close. I think like, I mean, I want to win. I think we'll probably
Shocker.
win. I think Rise coming off with the loss of Inkwick might be questioning a few things, and it'll be very interesting because Tweak was very involved last split in a lot of Gucci drafting. He was very up for, you know, he's the first one in the meetings, he's on the spreadsheet, you know what I mean? He's the one doing that kind of stuff. So it'll be like Tweak and BB Murphin versus the brain of Goldie. It'll be a really interesting kind of see how the draft opens out as well. There's a lot to be excited for in that game because it's top of the standings plus a bit of vengeance plus. I'm involved in it, so of course, that makes it even better.
Deep passion. Right, we're gonna have to call it there. It is nearly 1:30.
It is.
And we got to run around this afternoon. We got to do some things.
No, I
I'm
don't.
gonna give a huge shout out to
I'm
Casual
staying in this
Cutie
chair
for
as much as possible,
fixing
Tom.
us a package. Brack's glued down. Brack's glued down. Even though I think we're both gonna go and play Edge of Eternities this
Tomorrow?
evening.
Hell yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah,
You
my
got a
pre-release is until
Sunday
pre-release is until tomorrow, sadly.
That's crazy. Avi, Rob, anything you up to for the weekend? You doing anything crazy?
I'm gonna take things to heart, and I'm from what the guys always say in chat. I might actually go out.
Hell
And,
yeah.
It's true. There is
Oh my
water and grass
God.
outside. I've got to
Wait,
go
Rob
touch
out.
it.
Rob out.
Crazy.
Rob out the door.
You just
Go.
I'll leave it now. Goodbye, guys. I'll
Peace.
see you later. Bye.
Oh,
I'm
hang on.
already going. I'll see you.
Oh, okay.
There you go, guys. You got what you wanted. Rob out.
You do a flash of the pajama pants. That boy is getting changed and leaving the house. Avi, you up to anything this weekend?
No, I'm working tomorrow, so that'd be fun.
Ooh,
But-
employment, dude.
Yeah,
dude.
employment.
That's
Please
all right.
pay me.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Please do. Please do.
They won't. They
earn
don't have the money
currency.
to, but no, it's fine. Tomorrow's be a fun one. I will say I'm
I would
casting
be- I
tomorrow,
would
but
be
I'm not going
meaner,
to
but
promote.
Oh, you can promote it.
No, I'm not going to promote. It's not League of Legends, so I'll get told off.
No, promote it. I don't care. Promote it.
Promote it. Okay, twitch.tv/Lithorium. We're getting UKIT Week 6, I believe, which is the UK's Pokemon VGC circuit.
Yo.
Oh, hell yeah.
Excellent. Feel free to. I would say spell it in chat, but I don't think I have the puns.
Nah,
to
don't
allow
even.
a link, so that's all right. So if you are also a Pokemon enjoyer, go get that in. Go get that in.
It's hot outside. I don't like it.
It's not ours. You're not that far from me. I can see the clouds. Go and get some rain on your skin.
Okay,
We
Rob.
leave you with news of Rob out, Black card game, Avi video game, and on Monday we'll be bringing you more of those
Good.
banger matchups. And as the gamers all pull a face at the grey sky outside, we wish you a happy weekend. We'll see you Monday night.